is Mocha Mommy here bringing you another video, and this video is a little disheartening, disturbing, disappointing, and a little heartbreaking to bring you this news, but I'm going to try to put a very positive spin on it. All right, so my daughter has a friend, okay? She's a student ambassador. Student ambassadors are people who show guests around the school. If there's a new kid, they help show them around. So back when this girl was new, she formed a friendship with her. Little gorgeous, pretty little black girl from Pine Bluffs, Arkansas, with just sweet little face, just a very innocent disposition, just a real, Southern belle, thick accent, can't pronounce my last name, uses Lord and Jesus in every sentence, just the sweetest little thing, okay? She's from Pine Bluffs, Arkansas, okay? So everything that you imagine a little, wide-eyed, Southern teenage girl to be from Pine Bluffs, Arkansas, she definitely is, wherever your imagination takes you, okay? She's that. So she is in 4-H, which is like an agricultural club. And they're kind of doing their fundraiser right now. And so, of course, I participate because I'm in full support of her and her pursuing 4-H. And somehow this rumor got back to her that 4-H was white, or she's trying to be white. And the horrible thing about it is that rumor is coming from the black boys that are in the high school. And my kids don't go to public school, so this is middle-class black boys who are saying this, okay? Probably the same middle-class black boys who are probably talking about how black girls are not pretty or how they don't like black girls. It's probably the same group of boys. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it were. So why that's so disturbing is how disconnected we are from our history as a people. Let's talk a little bit about Pine Bluffs, Arkansas, okay? Pine Bluffs, Arkansas was the seat of agricultural revolution for black people. University of Arkansas at Pine Bluffs is an HBCU that was basically built teaching black people how to be self-sufficient after slavery, based on how to grow their own food and how to sustain their own lives. That's what Pine Bluff, Arkansas is. So this girl's not trying to be white. She is picking up and continuing a legacy of who it is we are as a people. Listen, I never met my great-grandmother, my Nana's mom, okay? I never met her, all right? But this is one story that's very, very pertinent to me into this situation. So my Nana's mom was a teacher in the segregated Jim Crow South. She had a garden, like most of the women on my mom's side of the family do, have a garden, all right? She was not formally educated, but my grandmother, my Nana, she was, okay? So my Nana would get her hair done every Saturday night. Her mother would braid her hair, and she would put very big, very ostentatious bows and barrettes in her hair. And what she would do with those bows and barrettes is she would take seeds of sprouts, of beans, and of different things she was growing in her garden and put them in the bows. Put them in my Nana's hair. And then when my Nana went to Sunday school, the Sunday school teacher would take those ribbons down and distribute the seeds to all the kids. Basically, the church was full of the children of sharecroppers. And there was a horrible debt system, right? Where you would have to get all of your needs, your food, your farming supplies, just all of your basic needs met through a general store on a credit system. And then you would turn your crops in to pay back the debt. But it just kept people in these horrible debt cycles. So what my Nana's mother did, my great-grandmother did, was started kind of giving out seeds, particularly legumes, all right? Simply because legumes put nitrogen back in the soil. So this way, when they were growing all the cash crops of tobacco, of cotton, it basically kind of helped replenish the nitrogen in the soil. And also, it would be a way for them to have sustenance. So, you know, all of the microgreens, that's all the rage now, all the sprouts, all the wheatgrass that people are kind of putting in their smoothies, that they're charging you an extra $1.39 for to put in your sandwich because it's a quote-unquote superfood. That was my great-grandmother. Teaching people to grow that between their rows of cotton. Teaching people to grow that on the back ends of their house where there was a downspout, so when it rained, it would get watered. So that people can actually feed themselves and not end up having to rely on the general store for this credit. Okay? Stuff that looked like basic weeds or basic grass, but really ended up being a superfood. That's the tradition that we come from as Black women. And you know, it is so sad that we're so disconnected from that. The people are so disconnected from that. You know, I really want to bring you guys to the attention of a documentary that's on Amazon Prime. It's called The Invisible Vegan. It's by, I think her name is Jasmine Leyva. And it basically kind of talks about our revolution through agriculture as a people. You know, very similar to what Michelle Obama was trying to be very correct, politically correct, and kind of tiptoe around and kind of handle with white gloves, about just how our freedom and social justice is really going to be tied to our diet and to our agricultural independence as a people. And I just really want to bring that documentary up to you. And you know, I really hate when Black men talk about how, well, Black women and y'all be making the Busset Challenge go viral and da-da-da-da. You know who else we made go viral? We've also made Tabitha Brown go viral. Okay? We've also made Sweet Potato Soul go viral. It was Black women who were like, hey, Wendy Williams, you know, you got to bring this other Black woman, vegan, up on your platform. Now, am I a vegan? No, I'm not. I'm not a vegan. No, I'm not. But I am in support of Black women taking control of their health and their wellness through being self-sufficient in agriculture, okay? Through being self-sufficient. I'm in full support of that. Because I was raised and grown in that tradition. And you know what's so sad is when you're raised and when you're grown in that tradition, much like this little girl from Pine Bluffs, Arkansas, people don't recognize that as Blackness. And they only take the very worst of us to classify all of us. You know what's also really pretty unfortunate? Not unfortunate, fortunate for me, but unfortunate for us as a people, that my husband, my Puerto Rican, Taino, Borinquen husband, knows way more about Black women and our contribution to the survival of people on this side of the planet than many of our own Black men that have whole YouTube channels, that have hundreds and thousands, if not millions of views. Like, that's where the disturbing part is. You know, and it's funny because I'm going to include some pictures from our trip to Cuba because I got a chance to learn a lot more about his culture through that. Also, the movie El Cantante with Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez, that's also another movie. I'm going to link particularly this scene that was most pivotal to me, right? Aguanile. I'll link that. They're very connected to, that sense of that African ancestry, because braiding seeds and nuts into hair was something that African people had done to delineate tribes and to take them on long journeys. And the fact that we've held on to that tradition, and the fact that this girl is walking in that tradition, and the fact that we don't recognize that as blackness is disturbing and disheartening. And I really wanted to say something, and my daughter's like, no, don't say anything, Mom. Don't. So you have to realize, when Jamie Oliver kind of came out with the whole TV show and blogs about the food revolution, okay, you have to understand that was a direct copy of Dick Gregory. Okay, you guys really look into Dick Gregory, who he was, the books he wrote, what he stood for, because I really think that he formed so much of the functional Black consciousness that is out here today. And I really attribute his views of walking in our legacy of health and wellness. And he was attacking these issues in the 70s. I mean, Dick Gregory was talking about this 40 years ago. Okay? What I'm telling you guys now, so walk into your legacy of wellness and begin to embrace it, and understanding that this is not a white thing, that this is a you thing, okay? I want you to do this for you, despite what anyone else thinks or feels about it, because obviously they're unaware of who they are. So when you embrace your wellness, you're embracing who you really are at the core of you. You're embracing your womanhood. You're embracing your blackness. You're embracing your divinity. So take care of yourself, for yourself, even if other people don't understand it. You have an incredible connection to this planet and to the people on it. You have a legacy of being responsible for the survival of millions of people who would not have or otherwise survived. So Black women, walk into that and own it, despite the ignorance of others. Now, ladies, I really want to make sure that you guys are supportive and encouraging of each other in your health and your wellness journeys. Use the resources that I put in the description box to really learn more about your own health and wellness and how you can take that power back for yourself. Now, this is not me promoting some kind of swirling agenda, because I recommended Sweet Potato Soul and Miss Leva and Jasmine Leva. But really, because I also mentioned Tabitha Brown and Michelle Obama, and they both have Black men in their lives who are supportive of their wellness journey, okay? But what I do want you to do is just to take your traditions and to take your wellness seriously, because you're worth the investment, the time, the effort, the energy, and just believe that this is something that is only going to enhance your life and not anything that's going to take away. I know that it's a struggle and those things are challenging, but I also know that the women that I mentioned have a lot of resources that can help you to overcome some of those challenges when it comes to your own personal wellness and well-being. And as far as finding people that embrace your culture, that really is about you going out there and you living your priorities and you embracing your culture and you finding those people who think like you and who operate like you. For this young girl, it happened to be 4-H. For some of you, it might be community gardening. It might be a wellness co-op. It might be a healthy eating or weight loss fitness support group. It might take different forms, but really it's about you getting out there. Okay. So this is Mocha Mommy, and I'll see you in the next video.